Good morning, all of you. Hello. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, very good morning. Now let us start our class. Once again, we will revise the previous class topic. So as some of our friends may be having. Are you able to see the screen clearly with the PPT?
Sir, PPT is not visible, sir.
It's not visible.
No, sir.
Is it visible or not?
No, sir.
Okay. If it is not visible, let me try clearly. Oh, stop all those sounds. I have to mute all of you. Okay. Now, yesterday I told you the process of strategic management process. In that there are 4 steps in that, and the first one is regarding the environment scanning, and the next one is all the 3 factors or the components of strategic management what we have learned in the earlier classes, they will be there. So what are they are? One is strategy formulation,
Strategic implementation and strategic evaluation.
So these 3 things will be there. So they are from the previous class of strategic components. Now the additional thing in the strategic process is to learn about the environmental scanning. That is the first step to be done. So what are the steps in the components of environment scanning? So just choose the go to your map what I told you. Now is it clear for you PPT? Hello?
No,
Hello?
sir.
No, sir.
Oh. One time it is coming. Okay. Oh. Okay, whether you see it or not, listen, we are wasting time. So in this, is it now visible or not?
Not visible, sir.
No, sir.
Not visible. Okay. Anyway, I gave you the material sent you earlier also, the entire thing. Now you listen. I will have to get the technical assistance from this. So, okay, what is meant by environment scanning? You just go to the previous class. So what are the components of the environmental scanning? So what are the various steps involved in this?
Sir, SWOT analysis is there.
SWOT analysis will be there. First, internal environment scanning will be of, once again, 2 steps. One is internal scanning and external environment scanning. So what are the steps in the internal scanning? Internal scanning will be having policies, mission, organization structure, values, then all functional areas of the business. What do you mean by functional areas? What do you mean by functional areas? The key activities, the key functions of any business organization. That is, once again, finance and accountancy, operations and production department, or you can say simply like a departments wise, if you can understand in simple words. Finance department, production department, then marketing department, isn't it? HR department, research and development, R&D we call, and information IT. So these are the few key functional areas. So the organization's strength and weaknesses depends upon the key functional areas. The entrepreneur has to set right every functional area. Suppose the organization is very strong in all aspects, but very poor in research and development, suppose, for example. So there won't be any new products developed by the company. The company, to overcome the weakness, they have to copy some other manufacturer's design and they will duplicate in their factory. So to overcome this, the company has to develop its own research and development, then design new products and bring it to the market. So if the marketing department is weak, all others are strong, then also is of no use, because the goods and services produced and developed in the firm has to be marketed or sold to the public. Then only it is the use. Likewise, each and every functional area has to be strengthened, fortified for the success of the organization. So once again, in the environmental scanning, the more you scan, the more you realize, the more you do the SWOT analysis with a more realistic experience, the SWOT analysis, then you can understand what you can really do. A small thing before going to the next step. Suppose what you want to do, that is the vision, where you want to go. What would you like to be seen? Once again, I'll tell you, in the earlier class also I told, your parents or elders or your teachers in the school level also, they might have asked you, what do you want to become when you grow up? Isn't it? So then you must be visualizing yourself as some doctor, some engineer, some scientist, some chartered accountant, some great lawyer, or a chartered accountant, company secretary, or a great businessman or industrialist. There are n number of professions and opportunities in this world. Want to become, you will visualize, is your vision. Then next comes, what are the steps to realize that your future visual effects? So how you want to realize, to make them real? Then you will be thinking, as I explained you should check out SWOT analysis. So what are the real strengths in me? What are the weaknesses in me? What are the threats I will be facing? What are the opportunities I can avail? Here, strengths and weaknesses are your internal part. If it is individual, it is within yourself. If it is organization strength and weaknesses are the internal part. Threats and opportunities are external part. With the help of your strengths, you will be availing opportunities. With your weaknesses, you will be facing a lot of threats. If your weaknesses are more, opportunities will be reduced, more threats will be there for you. If you improve your strengths, weaknesses will be reduced, more opportunities will be there, threats will be reduced. So internal part is strengths and weaknesses. External part are the opportunities and threats. But once again, your strengths are your opportunities. More the number of strengths you have, more the number of opportunities will be available. And what is strength here? What do you mean by strength? Physical health is one part, your educational qualifications, your special skills, your application brain, so on. These are more additional qualifications or additional knowledge you gain, it will be your strengths. With the more and more strengths, you will be having more and more number of opportunities in the market. So you can think about that. Then you have to match this SWOT analysis with your vision. What you want to become. Suppose one person want to become a chartered accountant. So there is nothing wrong in thinking about that. Or a person wants to become a pilot. Sometimes students will be asking, sir, I want to become a pilot. So root out the requirements for that. What are the basic requirements required to become a pilot? In how many ways one can become a pilot? If it is in defense, then you join Indian Air Force and they will train you as a pilot. But if you want to go for a commercial pilot, then you have to undergo the program of fly. You have to join in some flying club and there you have to undergo the training and all those things. Before that, this SWOT analysis. Are you physically fit? How about your vision and hearing and your mathematics, physics? What are the other required things? Do you possess that? Are you strong enough in those subjects? Then above all those things, how much it costs you to become a commercial pilot? So what about your financial abilities? And what about the job opportunities after you getting the commercial pilot license? Why you are doing all these things? To obtain a good job as a pilot. So what are the job opportunities? So these are the way, this is the way of thinking about the future and applying your strengths and weaknesses to that. In this regard, here, before going to the decision making, the next topic, once again, strategic management, the process is of 4 steps. One is environmental scanning, then strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and strategy evaluation. Isn't it? Now, with this, you people are having that I gave one more chart I didn't explain. It is nothing but once if you understand all these, see sometimes the present strength, the present weakness, what you are having, it may not be the same weakness in after a couple of months. Suppose I am very poor in computers. This is my weakness. But I cannot say that I am always poor in computers. I will learn with the help of an institute or an expert. Then I can overcome this problem. Then it will be one of my strengths. So once your SWOT analysis changes, once your strengths are improved, your opportunities will improve and threats will be reduced. So like that, once with your present SWOT analysis, what you are able and capable of doing, but once you improve your strengths, reduce your weaknesses, once again your capabilities will increase, opportunities will increase. Once again you have to take a new decision. Isn't it? So in this picture, and if you go through your second chart which I gave you, shared with you, corporate vision, mission, objective, goals. These are with the current external environment analysis, that is the opportunities and threats. In the bottom it is current internal environment analysis, strengths and weaknesses. In net, it is nothing but analysis of SWOT, that is strengths and weaknesses from the internal part, opportunities and threats from the external part. Now, then your current SWOT analysis, then improve your opportunities and strengths so that they will reduce the weaknesses and threats, so that a new SWOT analysis you have to analyze. Then once again look at the opportunities and choices. This is all about the strategic management process in simple words. So every time whatever we are, new opportunities will be in the market. So what about your plant capacity and all those things? Looking at this now COVID situation, then what are the things, opportunities are there for you to do the business or to improve yourself or to apply your knowledge and plant capacity and resources to encash in this situation. So in every situation, what will be the things and to what extent I am suitable to this, what are my strengths and weaknesses, so that you have to be always alert and gathering the information and ready to jump into action by seeing the pros and cons. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So if it is so, then we will be thinking about the next step is our decision making. So in this decision making, what do you mean by decision making? That is a very, very important step I would like to know. What is meant by decision making? Tell me. What is meant by decision making? Okay.
The best step.
Tell me in your simple words. I don't want any textbook definitions. You might have taken a lot of decisions by now, so you can apply this your practical knowledge for this and tell me what is meant by decision making. How do you take decision is next step. So first tell me what is meant by decision making.
Sir, when we are starting a business,
Yes.
we need to have something fixed in our mind, sir. Like if we have like we want to start a business and we have 3-4 options in it,
Very good.
and we need to know which one should we choose.
Which one to be chosen? Good answer. Good answer. So from this, what we can understand is when more than one options are available to a particular problem or issue, isn't it? So then selecting the best alternative is the decision making. What you said
Yes,
is
sir.
right. What you said is the right. I told in different words. First thing, there should be a problem, isn't it? Or an issue. For that issue, there should be more than one alternative solutions should be there. First, find out the solutions, then choosing the best among those available alternatives is the decision making in simple words. For example, even before you start your grade or at the grade 7 or 8, or even nowadays it is from the 6th grade itself, the decision you have to take a decision. Whether you want to study mathematics or you want to go for biological sciences or you want to go for arts or you want to go for commerce. So accordingly you will act. Suppose you want to go for mathematics, engineering side, so you would like to have special coaching in order to face the IIT entrance or G, isn't it? So then you have to strengthen yourself in the maths, physics, chemistry. So from the grade 6th onwards or grade 8th onwards, you will be starting improving your mathematics skill, because you have taken a decision to become an engineer. To become a good engineer, you should get seat in a good engineering college. That is the first things are IITs, next is NITs and so on the list. So here there you have making a choice. Okay, sometimes after till 10th class, you will not make any choice. Then in most of the students in the rural background, people, they will not bother much So first let him pass 10th. That will be the parents' reply. Okay, he passed 10th in
देखो ये भी
with
अपना
very
पीछे वाला
good
बैकग्राउंड
score.
है
With
इधर
very
आओ
good score.
इसको रखो ना पहले पर्स में
Stop
आगे
it.
फट से देखते हैं
I'll mute.
ले रखो
Please don't talk in the middle.
चुप
Then after 10th class, now the student, it's a time for him to take a decision. So whether to join in the junior inter with the mathematics or biology sciences or humanities or commerce or MEC, one more group is there. If not, there is a polytechnic also is there. So here the decision he has to, there is a problem, which course he has to choose. So which course he can choose? So it all depends upon his SWOT analysis once again. Suppose the parents want to become a good engineer, but the student is not yet good in maths or not interested in sciences, it's of no use. That is. And here, once you make a decision, in most of the cases, it will have a lifelong impact on you. Not only you, everyone. Whatever the decision you make today, one more important point regarding the decision making is, today you will take a decision or make a decision and the result will be in future. There won't be any immediate result now. Whether your decision is right or wrong, the future will tell. Then you will be realizing and feeling very sorry for not choosing the other one or for choosing this one. If the result is good, you will be happy about your decision making. The right decision which was taken long back or by your parents will be yielding good results in the future. So whatever the course you are going to opt in the +2 or intermediate, as the case may be, will have a lifelong impact on you. Sometimes there won't be chance to change the option also. So you have to adjust with the whatever the option you have taken and find new opportunities in the chosen field. Sometimes there may be chances to rectify your error or mistake or the wrong choice, and once again you can come into the right track according to you and go ahead and avail the opportunities in the market. So it all depends upon the decision making. Such an important thing is this. Okay, once you complete your course, then once again the decision making. So you cracked your intermediate MPC with good marks and you got seats in some options. So to select which institution to pursue your course, that is also a decision making. Sometimes you will be getting seat in your hometown itself, but the college may be not that reputed or that good. But you have to leave the home and go to the hostel and stay in a different state or some place where there is a good college. So it is once again for boys nowadays, it is not at all a big problem. Even boys and girls are going to any extent, even to going to abroad for pursuing their. Once you complete the course, for example, BTech. Now what are the, once again the decision taking has to be taken, because there will be multiple options to pursue master's program in India, or if he gets visa and those things, he can proceed to USA or other countries, or he may be getting a job also in good companies by qualifying through the GATE, and so in a good government sector undertakings he may get a job. So whether to go for job or to go for masters or to go abroad or to start your own enterprises which your parents are having or something else like that, or start a startup like all those options will be there. What you are going to do, that is also a decision making. Here the decision you make, once again it will have impact on you. Suppose you would like to study here itself or do the job what you got now, so you may be losing the chance of going to abroad for the present moment. So what is good, what is bad, also the result will be in the future, what I am telling. So after, okay, you joined the job and you settled well, then the next step according to our societal norms will be marriage. And there will be some 4 or 5 proposals, and which proposal you are going to decide or accept. That will be the final most important part in the life, because in our society marriage and further things are very, very vital and important. So here the decision making will play all. In the rest of the things, okay, no problem, you can adjust, you can adopt, you can choose them. But regarding this marriage, the choice you make now, because of basing on some plus points, positives and negatives, you will be weighing. So if I accept this proposal, so what are the positives of this or negatives of this? B, option B, what are the positives, what are the negatives? C, D, so on like that you will be weighing, and finally you will be coming to a conclusion and a final decision will be made. Then you will proceed. Okay. Whether it is a happy, successful thing, it's well and good by God's grace. Your decision is correct. If not so, the result will be a negative one. So the decision what you have taken today will not give the result today itself, but in the future. I think all of you understood this point. Now,
Yes, sir.
so that is the reason, think well, measure twice, cut once. These are the proverbs we have learned in the school. As a handwriting practice also we have written these lines so many times. Measure twice, cut once. What is the meaning of this? Cut once, cutting is that decision taking. If you take a decision now, once, it's finished. But before taking a decision, here measure twice means not only twice, as many times you can measure, you can proceed, you can check, you can inspect, gather the information, weigh the pros and cons, then only you can take a decision once for all. Understood? So that is the important part of the decision making. So in a business organizations also, what to make, what not to make, what to produce, what to buy. Sometimes all the components of a businesses are not being produced by the company. For example, if you take any Maruti cars or Hero motorcycles, those companies are not going to manufacture the mirrors, the tires, or the plastic equipment or the electronic equipment. They are not going to make them. They are going to purchase from the other manufacturers. Assembling, what we call. So whatever the vital engine technology and all those things these people will be having, they will develop it. So here the decision is whether to buy or make. Suppose for buying it costs you this much, but if you go on making, we have the spare capacity, we have the place, the plant, machinery, money we have. So we have the utilization of the product. We require this many number of units per annum for our own consumption. So instead of buying, we are paying this much. So if we can manufacture, we can save a lot of money to this extent. Everything are calculated and the figures will be there. So here a decision has to be taken whether to make or buy. This is one of the things. Okay, when number of products are in the market, what product to be introduced, what new things to be introduced or not, where to launch, all those things will be the decision making. So decision making is the top management's responsibility. The decision taken by them, if it is right, it is well good for the entire organization and the stakeholders, because debtors and everyone will be affected with a wrong decision. Suppose the company gets lost because of the wrong decision taken by the top management. What happens to the people who gave credit? What happens to the bankers who lent money to this company? What happened to the people who supplied materials to this company? What happens to the employees who are working in this company? What happens to the shareholders who invested their money in the name of shares? And what about the other people, that is the business people who are dealing with the products of this company, and so on. That is the reason stakeholders. So what about the future of the stakeholders because of your wrong decisions? Here we can see a live example. So many times we discussed, once a wrong decision, it may affect the entire closure of your businesses all. Take the case of Mukesh Ambani and Anil Ambani. When they started the business from their father, after their father Dhirubhai Ambani, then whatever the decisions taken by Mukesh Ambani were proved correct, and he has become the richest person with the success of his businesses and the right decisions. Then what about Anil Ambani? Whatever the decision he has taken, it proved to be wrong, and his businesses, he lost all his wealth when compared to his brother. And the decision by Vijay Mallya to start, what is that, Kingfisher Airlines, is a wrong decision. It was proved later after some years of operation, then he realized it is not his cup of tea. He has no any knowledge about the airlines and operation of airlines. So he incurred heavy losses, and finally he fled away the country. We don't know what will happen in the future, but because of his wrong decision to start. So
Sir,
yes.
every time it would not be the wrong decision, right? The implementation would be wrong, right?
Yes, because see, it is the chain of actions. You understood well. If you take a wrong decision, you will not be knowing that it is a wrong decision at that point of time. You think it is correct, isn't it? Then you start going on working for it and investing the resources and valuable time and money and all those things. Then after later, due to the circumstances or the other things, we will learn in future. So what are the various components will be affecting these things? And because of that, if your decision is proved to be wrong, then you will be put a great loss. Sometimes you cannot come back also from your decision. You have to go ahead, or it will be for a, what can I say, is a drastic end. Your decision will prove a fatal blow for you. So that is the reason decision taking is a very, very important thing in the life. At every point of time, whether to starting to choose mathematics or biology or humanities or commerce or something else, starting from there. So you told implementation the word. Suppose you want to become an engineer and try to get seat in IITs or NITs. So from grade 6 or 8 itself, you have to start preparation because of the heavy competition for those seats. Try to remember the word I told. What is meant by strategy? It is a game plan to win. Yes or no? So
yes,
to win the competition, there are lakhs of students applying or competing for a few seats, hundreds or thousand seats in the IITs and NITs. Because once a student gets admitted into IIT or NIT, his life is secured. It is for the present situation, isn't it? When compared to students completed their engineering from other normal engineering colleges. So better opportunities are there for students from these premier institutions. That is the reason everybody wants to try to get a seat in IIT or NIT, if not IIT. So for that, after completing your +2, if you straight away appear for the entrance exam, you may be scoring a 0 also. You may not at all be for minimum eligibility also, cutoff marks also you will not be getting. That is the reason to improve your strengths in these things. From grade 8 or 6 itself, the parents will be putting pressure on you, and they will making arrangements for your extra coaching or tuitions and all those things to gain to gain more knowledge and practice tests and all those things. Suppose you want to become a civil servant to crack IAS and IPS, UPSC exam. So nowadays, the qualification is only a graduation. But if you, after completing your graduation or master's program, can you crack any test? No, you will not. because the people who are appearing that for seriously, they will be starting preparation some 4 or 5 years prior to appearing for the test. There are many institutions in Delhi and in Chennai and other places. Your graduation and you training for UPSC will be parallel. So you will join for a degree course, but the main coaching will be for UPSC. The same subjects will be taught in the graduate. You will be getting a degree from university, affiliated that college to particular university, and at the same time, after completion of your 3 years or 5 years or course, then you appear for UPSC. You will be far ahead of thousands and thousands of normal candidates who started preparing for this exam after their graduation. So there will be a lot of difference by the decision you have taken and the implementation, the way you implement formulation first, a planning, how to do, how to crack. Then according to the time management planning, if you come up step by step from the right, and the implementation will go in the right way and the result will be in the right way. And definitely the student who starts his preparation for UPSC exams at the point starting of his graduation day, if he sets a regular timetable and a time schedule and prepares seriously, he is sure to win from either civils or group 1 officers or bank probationer officers at the last. It is for sure. So this is all about the decision taking and then followed by the strategic components, formulation, implementation and evaluation. So this is all about the decision making and its importance. Before taking decision making, there is one more small point is there to discuss and to for your benefit, I'll explain it as it is the planning. Once you take a decision, then immediately planning should be made or planning to be done. What is planning? Tell me in your simple words. Suppose all of you a sudden, you people may ask, I may ask you to come to the class. Then you may say, sir, we had no planning for this. We didn't plan for this. Or if you people ask or the management ask me to take immediately today, there is one class, you take it, means I may say, sir, no planning about it or such. So planning is future thinking in simple words. Nothing but what? Future thinking and arranging accordingly the things. In this planning, short-term plannings are there, medium-term plannings are there, long-term plannings will be there, standby plans will be there. In simple words, short-term planning. What you are going to do within this couple of years from now. Couple of years or 3 years or 4 years, there is no hard and bound rule, fast rule for this to fix the time. Because you are in the 3rd year of the law, and including this year, a couple of years are there for you, isn't it? So by the end of your 5th year, it may be 2.5 to 3 years from now. So what you are going to do along with your studying LLB, then what you are going to do in addition to your LLB. So this work should be linked to your decision what you want to become in the future. Suppose you want to become a company secretary, wonderful course, wonderful opportunities throughout the corporate world. It's a professional program. So along with that, you can go and register with ACS. In Hyderabad also the office is there in Khairatabad area. Then you can register for it according to the rules, whether you have to crack the entrance exam or directly apply for the intermediate program. As wise, you can get the details from time to time in our institution also. People from company secretaries course and giving the orientation program and the explaining the opportunities. You don't leave the LLB just with this LLB and you can enter them, or you cannot enter the market and win the. So you should have additional qualifications, additional knowledge, that is strengthening yourself, improving your strengths, adding additional strengths. So a person, when a candidate goes with the simple LLB, you may be a university topper, but at the same time, another student with LLB and ACS company secretaries, even in half part of that intermediate part, if he completes that and applies for a corporate job, immediately you know very well who will be given the opportunity. The student with the ACS knowledge will be given the first priority. So here the ACSD is the additional qualification. So now what you want to become, that is the most important, that is the part of the vision. So you have taken LLB, BBA LLB or so. Then what next? What next? So if you put your question what next, then you'll be having multiple options. So out of those multiple options, you have to decide for the best available alternate for you. So coming to the planning, once again, these first 2 to 3 years now, short-term planning, within this 2 to 3 years, even you can start today itself the civils preparation seriously, or you can go for ACS, or you can go for a very deep knowledge in the LLB itself, or you can prepare for banks and all those things. Yesterday itself, the Prime Minister have declared a new recruitment policy, a common exam, like those things you have to go, be in touch with them. And what you want to do, pursue accordingly, you decide of itself. So this is all about the short-term planning and the medium planning. Medium period of planning maybe some 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years means after completing your LLB, from there to 5 years time you take, and how you are going to improve and develop during those 5 years. Those 5 years are very, very crucial for you. And during the short period of time before you completing your LLB, your college life and happy life will be, it's all in the game, it will be going on. But your real life starts when you enter into the practice or some other thing after completing your graduation. So then you will start a fresh lease of life. So you will face the real competition there and the real problems you will be facing there. So if you are able to fix or settle down in these 5 years, then later your career will be good. But yes, your voice is totally broken, dear. Your voice is totally broken and unable to. Okay, you can do one thing. Even after this class also, you are free to talk to me of your any doubts, no problem. Or if you are able to have a good audio, that is, if I am able to hear clearly, I can address your problem and give the answer. Okay, now listen the final bit of this. So the medium term planning will be some 3 to 5 years after your completion of the graduation and so on. Then long term planning. Then you must plan. So after 5 years of my practice, then where you would like to be. So you want to construct a house or something else, or getting married or having a couple of kids or so, and about your profession. If you are a company secretary practicing, means you will be completing your final and you will be joining as a company assistant to company secretary, or sometimes going or to anything or abroad. So those are the planning. So everything is well. By now you can understand short-term planning, medium-term planning and long-term planning. So if you plan, if you have a plan, so it makes all the difference from those who do not have any plan. It's proved. So whether small or big, you have to start writing on a book. This is what I want to become, what I want to do within these 2 to 3 years. From 3 to after completing the course, around 5 years, and after 5 to 10 years, that's the long-term planning. I want to do this. It is your vision. If you want to go ahead in a planned way, because lakhs and lakhs of students doesn't have any this vision or any proper planning, and there won't be any guide to guide them, and these people will not listen to them. isn't it? So doing multiple things, having one idea, having strengths in one area, but attempting a different line where you don't have any strengths or don't have any knowledge and leaving that in the middle and jumping for another thing, at the end, jack of all trades, master of none. And above all these things, you will be losing your valuable prime age. That is the most important thing. And earning opportunities, career opportunities, because you will be a rolling stone without a proper planning and implementation. If you don't have any clear, crystal clear planning from now itself, life will be very, very miserable because of the heavy competition in the world. If you want to face the competition and beat the competition and win the situation, you should have a proper planning based upon your strengths or SWOT analysis and your vision. So this is all the important thing. They are linked up one to other. So you start putting on the paper, just don't sit and discuss unnecessary things with others. Put on a paper, only discuss with your very close and reliable people who can guide you properly. Then how much time management is the most important of all the aspects. So what is the time management? Managing your time. Every person has 24 hours only. Don't forget this word. Either the president of US, president of India, to a common worker, any jobless person, everyone will be having only 24 hours. Within this 24 hours, one will become very successful, one will become a mediocre, and the other ones are average, and the others are leftovers, ignored people of the society. It's all depends upon your actions, way of thinking, how to utilize the 24 hours in the most efficient and effective manner. That's all the important thing. Many resources you'll be having, many students are having so many resources compared to many others. So how to best utilize the resources? So they are the strengths of you, they are the advantageous points of you. People staying in urban area are having more opportunities when compared to the rural, in the terms of electricity, in the terms of internet connection, in the terms of information or libraries or resources, tuition points or coaching centers, anything. So that is it. So first thing is SWOT analysis is the most important thing. So it has a link to be with decision making and so on. The things are there. So this is all about the decision making for today's class, and it is linked up with the strategic decision. We say strategy is once again to win. It's an action to win the competition or to win the game. So what is the action? What is the plan you are going to do? What the decision you are going to take? It comes all under this. But if it is for management, pure management, MBA students also, the types of decisions, what are the things and other things are there. But according to our syllabus, it is only just small points. So I discussed, and whenever it is appropriate or when the opportunity comes once again, we will discuss the types of decisions also. But here for your level, this is the thing. So in this, the strategic decision making process, 5 steps. First thing is you have to define the problem. This is the most important point I am telling you. Many students will be confused with so many problems. They do not know whether it is a problem or some suggestion or something. They are not clear about their own problem. They'll be simply worrying about, simply crying about, or simply attempting this and that, but not to a correct target board. So first thing is, what is the real problem? Identifying the real and correct problem is half the problem solved. Try to remember. You might have heard your parents or some elders, if you are crying or worrying, tell me clearly what is your problem. You will be telling so many things. No, about all these things, what is the present worrying and what you are worried about. So if you can identify the correct and real problem, solutions are easy to make. Half the problem is solved. That is the thing. Define the problem and seek. The second point is gather information. Why and how the problem occurred. What is the reason for that particular problem? What made that problem to arise? So why and how. So if you know those two things, you can simply, suppose there is a power problem is there. Power has gone. So one thing, fuse might have fuse off. Or there is, if it is a fuse problem, Simply, if you can know that the power supply, what is that, interruption is because of the fuse problem, you can reset the fuse, or the trip has gone, you can set the trip and the power will come. So you should know the cause for that particular problem. So identify the problem, the reason why and how. Then talk to individuals who will be the stakeholders, what we call, or the next step is, what are the various options I have for my problem? That are the solutions. Every problem will be having some minimum 3 to 2, about 2, no doubt about it. Multiple options will be there. So evaluate each and every option. Write down on the paper all solution number 1. This is my problem. This problem is due to these reasons, and how this problem arises. Write it very clearly and correctly. Then write the choices. So what are the options I have to solve that problem? Solution 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and come to 1. So in 1, write pros and cons. If I take this solution to solve my problem, so these are the pros, advantages and disadvantages of this. Solution 2, like this. Then finally discuss with all the stakeholders and come to a conclusion and take one decision. Only one choice you are going to take, not 2 choices. That is the final decision making. This is all about the strategic decision making. Hope all of you understood this very clearly. And finally, after taking the best action, implement and monitor the decision. So simply taking a decision is not the solution to your problem. The decision taken has to be implemented, put into action. Then only the action, you have to check the action with your original plan, whether it is deviating or going on par with the line. If it is deviating, try to make the gap analysis, find out the reasons for why it is deviating, and correct and check there itself. If you take all these measures, then everything will come to your control. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
if
sir.
you are clear and having a clear-cut idea about the decision making in simple words, I told you, you can apply this decision making to your personal career and personal life and check it. What the decisions you have taken earlier up to now, at least from 10th grade onwards. What are the decisions you have taken? How many of them are proved correct, or how many of them are proved wrong? So if it is wrong, what are the correction steps you are going to take to rectify them, or choose another? All those things varies from person to person, situation to situation. So at least now take a book and write your decisions which you have taken from grade 10 or so. Then you see how many of them are correct. Then before closing, I would like to give you a small work for you. That is, everyone take a notebook and put the SWOT analysis of yourself. One is strengths, opportunities, strengths and weaknesses. If you say it is strength, why do you think it is a strength? If it is weakness, how to overcome this weakness? What is the nature of that weakness? How you are going to overcome? So with the help of your strengths, what are the opportunities are available to you? With the weaknesses you possess, what are the threats you have? Isn't it? So these are the things you have to work out and make it as a small assignment for your self-assessing thing. And after completion of our semester, you must once again recheck your SWOT analysis. Whatever the weakness you found today, it should be no more a weakness to you after 6 months. It should become, I'm telling, if you are having a communication, English communication as a problem, if you are weak in that, take English tuitions and the speaking on classes and try to improve your English and turn that weakness into your strengths. So be a smart guy. So this is the one assignment I would like to give you. So prepare your SWOT analysis, and at the same time, on the second page, prepare your planning, short-term planning, that is for 2 to 3 years from now, and mid-term planning 5 years, and long-term plan 10 years. So you make it and check it for yourself based upon your strengths and vision. Right? Wish you all the best. For all of you, Vinayaka Chauthi Shubhakangshalu.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
May
so
the
much,
Vigneshwara God bless you with the studies and good nature and behavior and all with the success.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Our
so
next
much.
class,
Thank you.
our next class will be on Monday,
Yes,
11
sir.
to 12. Monday, 11 to 12.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If
Okay,
you have
thank you
any
so
doubts,
much,
you
sir.
are all welcome. Otherwise, you can
Oh.
call it a day.
Okay,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, welcome.
Sir, can we leave, sir?
Yeah.